Hey guys, I thought I would do a video just doing some garden updates, show you guys what's going on in the gardens. These are the fava beans, and excuse me, I have a cold, so I know my voice sounds terrible today. But these are the fava beans. They're doing really well. It's been getting colder here and staying colder longer. And it's about to get even colder in January, February, but they are doing so amazing. I'm so shocked at how well these are doing in these temperatures because they're getting pretty big now and they look really healthy. This is that purple garlic that I planted that wasn't up in the last update, but it's up now. So those I'm pretty happy with. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can't see what the little cloves look like under there. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, they look like they're getting pretty swollen up pretty well. I don't know if you could see it there. I'll cover it back up. But yeah, everything's doing really well. We'll look at the red garlic over here and the violas that I planted. Violas are doing good. The chickens have been pruning them quite a bit, but they're still covered in blooms. And then this is that red soft neck garlic. Definitely looks different from the hard neck. The hard neck varieties have the bluer leaves. You can see some back there, and they're just bigger all the way around. They look a lot like leeks, actually. All hard neck they kind of look like leeks. But these ones are doing pretty well too. The garlic over in this area is doing really well. I know it's probably hard to tell where everything is at on this property, but this is the first round of garlic that we planted in October, which was still pretty late for us. And we did the Ruth Stout method. I need to do another layer of hay. You can see where the hay is thin, there's some weeds coming up, but where it's nice and thick in the middle, there are no weeds. So I'm pretty hopeful that this is going to be the right method for us this year. So those look really good. They're going to grow quite a bit more. And this is the new kitchen garden area. This is where we planted some more garlic really late and some walking onions, and then we also seeded the daikon radish in this row. And I actually had extra seeds left, so I didn't use all 250 seeds. But you could see the walking onions had no issue pushing up through the hay, which was nice. And then you can kind of see all the little garlic heads poking up. Or garlic leaves, I should say. Pretty much everywhere where you see little bumps like this, you could be sure that there's going to be garlic coming up. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So it doesn't have any issues really pushing up through the hay. You can kind of see there, because they kind of come up like, the leaves come up as like little thick swords. You can see one right there. So that isn't really, hasn't been an issue for the garlic. There's another one there. But you can see there's a ton of bumps in the hay, and those are all of the garlic sprouting. We've had some really warm days, so the grass has come back. You can see a lot of the green grass peeking up, which kind of excites me a little bit because I want to mow and get some more hay for the garden. So I'm kind of happy about that. And this is just the back paddock. If you go through this gate, that is the front paddock, and that's where we'll go next. Real quick, while I'm back here, I wanted to show you guys the cedar trees that I transplanted when we first moved here. They are doing really well. Look how tall this one is getting already. You see it's got lots of green. They do turn this amber color in the winter time at the tips there, but in the spring they'll come back and they'll be green. So there's one of them. There's another one over here. Nice and bushy, and these were probably about 6 inches tall when we put them in, and now they're probably about 18 inches or so. I think this year they're going to get a lot of growth. Here's another one. And I'll show you guys the cedar trees that I planted over by the chicken coop last year too, so you can see how those are doing. Here's the ducks. They're getting so big, and these are the chicks that we grew out over the winter. They're all so big now. Aren't you guys? The girls are still laying. I'm going to put some hay in there, and I'm going to put all these eggs into one box here, and hopefully someone will sit. So here is the first cedar tree. It has grown about 8 inches tall since I planted them this year, or last year, I should say. It's 2020 now. But if you go to my history, my YouTube videos, you'll see a video. It's called How to Transplant Cedar Trees. These are the trees that I was planting in that video. However, I lost the middle ones because my husband mowed over them. So I've just got this one here and then one down at the end that we'll go take a look at. And look at, I left some gourds out so they're drying in the sun. So there was 2 others right here, but Garrett accidentally mowed over them. So here's the other one. Kind of see it. It's doing well too. Of course, the covered areas are still green where the hay is kind of bunched around, and then the top is amber, this amber color, but it's not dead at the top. So don't ever prune your cedar trees. Here are the gourds. There's more around that corner up there. They're almost done drying. You can see they're almost rattling. These will probably be ready in about a month. So once you hear them really rattle inside, that's when they're done. Like this one, you can tell it's still a soft rattle. It needs to sound like a hard rattle, like that there's no softness inside there, because that means there's still moisture in there. So I'll make sure to do a video when these are fully dry so you can actually hear what they should sound like. See, that one you could barely hear any rattling. When they're ready, you'll just hear a ton rattling and it'll be really loud. It won't sound muffled at all. Here's some gourds we left growing on the fence, and they're drying out pretty well too. Still got a ways to go on those ones though. They're kind of in the shade. There's another one down there. Over here in our front right paddock, you can see this is one of the pine trees I planted when we first moved in. When I planted it, it was about 3 feet tall, and now it's really tall. They grow so fast, but it's way taller than me now. And then I have the weeping willow here that I planted also. That was one of the first things I planted, and that one is really big now. And I have another one over there on the left paddock. And then there's this, this is a white crepe myrtle that was really small when I planted it too. You can't really see the 6 apple trees, but there's some apple trees out there too. Hey, Bo, how you doing? How you doing? And then this area over here, if you go through this little gate, this is the front far right paddock, and we are gonna do a garden in there as well. Probably a bunch of sunflowers. And then I think Garrett's going to be building a pig pen in this corner here somewhere. So that's just one of our future plans, I guess. But let's go take a look at what Garrett's up to. I think he's building a new compost bin for me. Here we are on the left side front paddock, and there's another pine tree that I planted. And the other weeping willow is right there, and there's 3 more apple trees there. So our property is split up into several different paddocks. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fenced in paddocks that are separated by fencing because they had horses here. There used to be 7, and we took one out. We took some fencing out. Here's another crepe myrtle that I planted that is doing really well. It was really tiny when I planted it. It was kind of a trash tree that they're getting rid of at Lowe's for nothing, so I bought it and it bounced back really well. Alright, so I thought I would seed start some brassicas because it's such a nice day and I want to get some Brussels sprouts started. I grew my Brussels sprouts around this time last year, had them seed started around this time. I planted them, I think I planted them in late February. So that's probably what I'll end up doing with these, is end up planting these in late February, which is why I'm not using the soil block and I'm just using these cups because I want to be able to keep them in here longer if I need to. So I'm seed starting some Brussels sprouts. I guess that's the variety, Catskill, and some red Russian kale. And I have lots of red Russian kale seeds, even ones that I've saved, but I've never grown the Fairy Morse variety. So I'm going to seed start some of these, and I will end up seed starting some of my own red Russian kale. And this is not the right time to start red Russian kale, because really you harvest your kale in the springtime and then you start them in the summer. But because we have such a mild climate here, I'm going to start mine anyway, because last year I planted some kale around this time and I was able to harvest it in the summertime. So we're going to try that out. Seeds look like really tiny. They look a lot like broccoli seeds or any other brassica. Kind of cool. Right, I've got a couple trays in. There's 2 dozen in each of these trays of Brussels sprouts, and then I just did 12 of the red Russian kale. So looking pretty good. I'm gonna leave these here on my bench. I am gonna water them in, but I'll do that off camera, and then I'll just leave them here to do their thing. All right, next up on my list is to finish putting this little playpen together. This is a playpen that we use for the rabbits when we want them to free range, or sort of free range, out in the grass, or when we have young chicks or ducklings and we want them to be outside. So we got these little panels at Daiso, which is like a Japanese dollar store. And each one of these little sections here was $1.50, and then you just use zip ties, or we just use zip ties to attach them, and then they kind of fold up like an accordion. So I've got these 2 long pieces. I'm gonna attach these and make one big sort of playpen, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like when I'm done. It's fine. Just got my finger in it. There's one of the rabbits waiting to go in the playpen. All right. You want to do that end for me?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Here, I'll take this. Thanks. Got a little helper today. Thanks, buddy. Scarlet. She's scared because she's not used to being out without her little playpen.
You done?
So we also got a little pack of these hooks at Daiso, and they're used to kind of clip on to use as grid wall so you can hang stuff, but I'm not using it for that purpose. I'm just going to clip them on, and I'm kind of going to just use it to keep the cage closed where it meets up. And it's kind of hokey, but it works. And this isn't for leaving your animals out unattended, so it's just if you're nearby and you can keep an eye on them. That's what this is for. So now she could play out here when we're working out here, but again, you don't want to leave them unattended. You have to watch them, because cats and other little beasts will want to get them. So then when you're ready to put it away, you just do this. Folds up neatly and you can put it away in your barn. Charlie. So see, pretty easy playpen for your animals.
Got the buck on the outside. 5, 6. 5 out of it, now $6 bill. Got the buck left. 5 out of it, now $6 bill. 5, 6 out of it, now 7.
Well, my neighbor's horse or pony got out, and we had to go down the road and grab her with a leash. So we're just waiting for the owners to come and pick her up. Looks like someone might have cut their fence, so ugh, poor girl. She's a good girl though. You poor thing, you're just waiting for your mama, huh? I hope you're actually a girl. I think you are. I think you are. You're so pretty. Yes, you are.